You're listening to the Storied Coaching Podcast with Aaron J. Jacobs, episode number 103. This week, we're talking about how to make transformation inevitable. Forward.
What if you could rewrite your current story? How would you spend your time? What would your career or business look like? What kind of life would you design? Welcome to Storied Coaching, the podcast for high-performing leaders that provides you with tools and insights for building a thriving business that fuels an amazing life on your terms. I'm Aaron J. Jacobs, and as a master coach and the CEO of OMH Creative and Storied Coaching, I've had the privilege and opportunity to learn what it takes to rewrite your story. It's never too late for a rewrite.
Welcome to the podcast this week, heroes. This week, we are talking about transformation. And the reason that this came up was because it's that time of the year for the Jacobs household. The kids and the parents are doing lots of activities in order to help make the streamlined process as painless as possible for everyone in order to get school started. Because the kids go back to school just next week, and we want to make sure that each of them, we have a boy and a girl, feel like they have what they need to be able to start the year off well and to be successful. And so, of course, I'm thinking about this as well in my own life and about how starting in the fall, a lot of times this happens with those of us that have kids, and how can we start doing this in our own lives? And so one of the things that I ended up thinking about is the saying that I've heard over and over again, which is very helpful for me and I keep tucked away in the back of my mind. And it's introducing the concept of plan the dive, dive the plan. So for anyone that's gotten PADI certified, that's where you go out and you learn how to do scuba diving. That's one that comes up a lot, is you want to put effort and time into planning the dive. And then that way, when you're actually doing the dive, you don't have to think about all of the things. You've already in advance thought about where the dive is happening, how deep you're going, what equipment you're bringing with you, what backup equipment you'll have, and if you'll have somebody else with you as well. Are you doing the buddy system? Where are you going? How much time are you spending down there? How much oxygen do you have? At what rate do you consume that oxygen? What do you do if things don't go according to plan? But once you've done all that, all you have to do is show up and dive the plan. No new decisions have to be made at all. And so I've been thinking about how this is a great season for all of us to think about how we can start planning the dive and diving the plan as well. How we can apply the same logic to help our clients as well. Those of you that are business owners, that are in a profession where you have clients, most of us are in some way helping people achieve some sort of goal, no matter what industry that you're in. For us in particular right now, I'm thinking a lot about our clients at Olympus Men, because we've had so many men come on in the last several weeks, it seems to be the season for it, that are looking at their testosterone levels, are looking at some other levels and what their health markers are and how they could dial those in, whether they want to lose weight or gain muscle or just feel better, get rid of brain fog, have better mental balance, all kinds of different things. They're trying to optimize themselves. But helping them, getting them the supplementation they need is just one part of the plan. It's just one part of the plan. So many times when these guys have gone to clinics in the past, if they have done it in the past, or maybe they're just starting for the first time, they're used to someone writing a prescription, talking to them, and then that prescription, they either pick it up, or if they're like us, get it drop shipped to their door. And then they're just expected to, says on there what the prescription is, and good luck. Maybe you'll have a check-in with a doctor if you're lucky, every 12 weeks, but usually it's every 6 months-ish. And they're not really helping you to achieve the goal you wanted to achieve. Because I'm using the example of our business right now, but think about how you could apply this to your own business as well. Are you providing some sort of prescription, some sort of thing, a service or a product, and you're helping them up through the sale to get what they need in order to get them onboarded? But after that, are you providing a plan that helps them after that? And so I really started to think about that is what men are coming to us for in our specific instance, is they don't want us to deliver testosterone to them. They don't want us to give them these peptides. They don't want us to deliver these different things to them. What they want is the result that they're going to get by implementing these things into their lives and then achieving something that they really want. which is adding muscle, adding better mental health, getting their metabolism back, getting their bedroom game back, more motivation, getting rid of brain fog. Like all of these things are what they actually want. They want to feel better in their daily life. But if we're just giving them a thing and not helping them actually figure out how to apply it to their life with other things, and those other things can be coaching and checking in with them more regularly, helping them actually add that to the plan, then we're not really helping them achieve what they want to achieve, are we? If they're super motivated and already have a plan on their own, maybe they'll be successful. Some of you may have been in this situation as well. Sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not. Depends on how motivated you were and how much time you had to dedicate to it and how much you knew about it. But if you have someone who's already done it before and they can help you, you can go so much further, so much faster, which is classic coaching, right? That's why we hire coaches. A lot of things you can figure out on your own in life with enough time, but that a lot of times we don't have the time to invest in that because we're busy in other areas of our lives, especially as entrepreneurs. We're running businesses. We don't have hundreds of hours to dedicate to a new thing to figure out the best way to do it and bump our head 18 times along the way, finding out all the wrong ways to do it until we find the right way. We need the quickest route from here to being successful at this new skill or this new thing that we need to implement in our business. And so it's so much better many times to pay a coach that specializes in that area of business, in that area of finance, in that area of some sort of growth or skill that you're looking for, and help them get you there so much faster in a straight line, or at least a lot straighter than if you had to do it on your own. And so that's how we're applying that in our context. But I want to amend plan the dive, dive the plan with a little bit more, and that's support the dive. So plan the dive, dive the plan, but also what are you doing to support the dive while you're doing it? And this has come up because when I was talking with men and I was talking about what the most important things were to them while we were onboarding them for either testosterone optimization therapy, or we were helping them out with peptide therapy or vitamin supplementation, whatever it was, they, like I said, they had a specific thing that they wanted to do, something they wanted to accomplish. And for many of the men, it boiled down to two categories, which when you say them out loud, it's like, of course, these are the things that they want to do. But so many times they weren't getting the support in order to get there. They were getting a prescription if they were lucky. A lot of times they weren't even able to get a prescription, and then they were left to their own devices. But the two areas that they wanted to get better in were, I want to look better naked, and I want to be happier. Two pretty big buckets, right? But if we can help them, we being Olympus Men, to help them be able to achieve those two things, or at least give them some things that could help them on their journey to achieve those two things, that would be so much better than 99% of the other clinics out there that help men. And so we decided to do that. Just this last week, my guys are getting emails and they're already signing up for 2 different coaching courses we're going to run from now through December. And that is, we're going to help them, we're calling it the Look Better Naked 12-week beginner bodybuilding program, where we're actually going to help them, give them a 12-week plan with a PDF document and even links to the different exercises so they can see how the exercises are done. We're going to get on monthly calls with a group and talk through all kinds of stuff and coach on things. They're going to have email support. They're going to have nutrition guidance and a guidance on the best tools that we like for tracking and staying on track with nutrition as well as working out. It's going to be great. When the reason we're doing that is, like I said, the best way to help them isn't just helping them with the things that our clinic does. It's helping them set a plan. So they plan the dive, they dive the plan, but while they're diving the plan, how are we supporting them during the dive? Because the things that are going to come up for them are the things that will sidetrack their nutrition, are going to, with life, what things that are going to sidetrack their getting to the gym or doing things or feeling isolated. Like it's the emotions and it's the thoughts that come up during that process a lot of times that if you're isolated and don't have a group to support you, you can go off the rails or you have a less chance of being as successful. Let's put it that way. So that's actually something we're launching on September 2nd, just this next week. We decided to implement it right away because so many guys wanted to start, and timing it with the beginning of school, helps with people already in that mindset of, okay, we're going to the last quarter of the year, if you will, if you're thinking of it from a business perspective. What do you want to get done during the last quarter? So if you want to look better naked, we're helping our guys do that. Anyone that signs up for any of our plans, doesn't even matter what tier it is, they get free support and they get to enroll in that program that starts on September 2nd. And then on how to get happier, we're helping men with mental resilience. So we are going to have an ongoing monthly coaching call we're going to teach on different subjects that help them with anxiety, with depression, with relationships, with all kinds of different stuff. We'll have a mini topic each time, but then we're also going to do live coaching where guys that want some coaching on a specific area of their life that they're having trouble with, they can come on and actually get live coaching from me. I'm super excited about this. It's going to be great. Like I said, I love the idea of supporting the dive. It's like having a diving buddy with you while you're under the water and you've planned all this stuff out and you're super stoked to be doing it. But if anything starts to go awry, if anything starts to get questioned or a piece of equipment fails, or I'm using that as an example, but if anything comes up for them, we're there to help them to adjust and to stay on track so that they can reach the goal that they want, to feel better about themselves and to evolve into the next version of their story that they really want to get to. And that's really what it's all about, right? It's about evolving into that new version of yourself that you've always wanted and helping get support from other people that have some of the same goals or have been there before you that can help you get there faster and stay on track and have a larger sense of success. So even if you're not joining us in that program, and if you're a man, you definitely should, because it's going to be so much fun. Either of those programs, you can join both of them, by the way, if you want. And as long as, like I said, you're a member of Olympus Men. So there's no reason to delay. This would be something to absolutely do. Just for that even would be a reason to go ahead and start working with us. But think about if you are looking at this from a perspective, if you are an entrepreneur running your own business, or you're a professional and you work with clients in some regard, and most of us do in some way, how would supporting the dive for your clients make you the best option for them? Make you the person they rave about, the company they rave about, and are telling everybody that they need to work with you because you do things differently. Because there's lots of good companies that help plan the dive up through the sale. And then they give them the dive plan. They're like, okay, just go and do it this way. Implement our software this way and do it. But who's actually going the extra step of supporting the dive during adoption, during rollout, like really leaning in and making sure they're not getting stuck and hung up and frustrated so that they actually start using your service or your product, that they're delighted with it, that they want to give you a testimonial because they're so excited about it. Do they have that kind of support from you? Have you thought about what's the best way for them to roll it out, to implement it in their specific business, to help make sure that they're successful and they look great to their boss for having hired you in the first place? That's the way to create recurring customers, to make them wild about what you do and how you do it, no matter what you're selling, no matter what kind of service that you provide in your business. That is a way to absolutely one-up your competition, and it doesn't cost you anything except some planning beforehand, template it, and then checking in with them at regular intervals on a Zoom call, on a Teams call, whatever cadence works to help them work through what might be hanging them up so they don't feel like they're just looking at a black hole as far as support. Plan it into your process. So an example of this for us would be while you're planning the dive and you dive the plan, I've had times when I've been doing a 12-week bodybuilding program, for instance, and I'm along my journey right now, but it doesn't matter. I'm like 10 deep in the different 12-week programs and 6-week programs and things that I've done. And I still need help to be able to check in and avoid things like, for instance, my eating plan, my nutrition plan. I realized there was a pattern for me where I would self-sabotage. I would be great at sticking to my protein intake and my carb intake and my fat intake for hitting all my macros, just running along, really steaming through until 6 p.m. So start of the day, and I start my day early, usually around 5 a.m., all the way until 6 p.m. Like it was pretty easy for me, honestly. I'm working, I'm doing things, I'm remembering to go ahead and every 2.5 hours or so have my next intake of nutrition. All of that was going great, gym going great. But around 6 p.m., hanging out with the family, maybe watching a little TV with one of the kids, whatever, my brain really started to say, you know what? You deserve candy. What snack? I feel like having snacks. I feel like doing all this stuff. So it was between 6 and 10 p.m. when I go to bed that I realized I had a window of self-sabotaging myself. And so I started to set up some supporting the dive after I was already during the dive, in the middle of it, ways for me to be able to reprogram other habits when I would have that thought. I don't expect myself not to have the thought. I'm a human. Sometimes I'm going to be watching TV or doing whatever and hang out with the family. And I'm like, a piece of cake looks really good, even though that's not something I planned on today. It's not something that was in my plan for my hitting my macros today. And when I do want a piece of cake or something like that, I plan for it. So it's not like I don't have cake. I love cake. But it might not have been part of that specific 12-week plan for myself, okay? I had to think of ways for me to be able to, either by having healthier snacks available, something that I could substitute for something else, and also just knowing that was going to happen. Oh, it's 7 p.m. Of course, I'm thinking that I want some candy. This always happens. It's fine. Nothing's going wrong here. I don't have to change my brain. I don't have to change this thought, or I don't feel like a bad person because I'm craving it. It just is what it is. It's totally fine. And so I found ways in order to plan myself out of that, plan during the dive, like continually evolving it while it's happening. So much easier when you've been able to go through it a couple of times, right? So that's just one example of something that you might need to, during the dive, go ahead and dial it in a little bit for you, especially if you're doing nutrition or you're doing a bodybuilding program. So look at ways that you could apply this for your own business. What are things you're doing right now that you're doing a great job towards the beginning of the sale, towards maybe even onboarding that client? But are you setting up a structure, a planned structure, not just, I'll check in with them every once in a while, but a planned rhythm, a planned structure of things you're going to do to help them be successful, to get the result that they want, not just the thing that they bought and good luck hoping getting your result. How are you helping ensure that their transformation is literally inevitable? There is no way they can go off the rails because you're providing that support for them. What are ways that you could do that? It can transform your business. It can transform your life and your own goals for yourself. So look at that. If you want to join us, Olympus Men, for our September 2nd launch for Look Better Naked 12-week beginning bodybuilding plan, it's step-by-step, nutrition guide, like I said, tool recommendations, monthly check-ins, email support. Or if you want to get on board for our other one, which is building mental resilience and working on that part of your life, we would love to have you. Go to olympusmen.com, reach out to us there, and we'll be able to help get you onboarded real quick. All right, my friends, until then, I will see you next week. Have a fantastic week, and I hope that you make your own transformations inevitable and that they're amazing. Talk to you soon. If you are a man interested in learning more about testosterone optimization and other cutting-edge wellness therapies coupled with high-performance coaching, you have to check out olympusmen.com. There you will find out more about how to work with us, as well as a free guide that will answer everything you always wanted to know about testosterone therapy and if it might be right for you. Head to olympusmen.com right now to learn more.
Thanks for listening to Storied Coaching with Aaron J. Jacobs. If you want more information or resources from the podcast, visit us at storiedcoaching.com.